Good afternoon. My name is Elaine Keeley, and I am the Director of Curriculum Instruction and Staff Development. And then this afternoon, we're going to share a little bit about the resources available on our website for support for technology, for summer distance learning, and also for the fall for distance learning. I'm going to share my screen and talk to you a little bit about how technology works in Merced City School District. So here we go. And this website is called Merced City School District At Home. And the way you get there is really you start with the regular Merced City School District website, which is mcsd.k12.ca.us, and that will take you to this home page. And from this home page, you can scroll right down to this box that says Distance Learning, and in the corner it says MCSD At Home. If I click there, I go to the Merced City School District At Home page, and this is just a little opening page, and where you want to go is up here on the top to this ribbon where there are lots of resources. Before you leave this page, you might also want to notice that we have a helpline. That helpline is 209-724-2424. If you press 1, you'll get my department and me. So that is Elaine Keeley, the Director of Curriculum, my partner Matt Johnson, who is the Coordinator of Educational Technology and Innovation, and Yua Lee, who is our Coordinator of Informational Technology. If you press 2, you will get our IT department, and they are all about devices, connectivity, using those devices, pushing out applications, and they can answer lots of your questions about logging in and connecting your devices to your home network device. Or if you don't have a home network, we can take care of all of those issues. And then if you press 3, you will also get a place to leave a message, and those messages are received by the IT department, and they will get back to you. So now back to the curriculum and the applications. Up here at the top, it says MCSD Applications and Adopted Digital Resources. So on this page is quite a few places where you can scroll down and see all the things that we use with your students. And I'm going to go a little bit slowly, but I'm going to go through some of those things. We tend to speak in what I call education ease or teacher ease. We use lots of codes and acronyms and names that I talk to my husband and I practice with him, because if I'm not understandable for a non-educator, I know we're talking too much education ease. So here I want to make it very understandable from kind of a high-level helicopter lens of what is technology like in a school district. So I'm going to open up this little slide deck here by pressing the arrow, and that takes me to some slides. Here you see that ARIES is the center of our school district, and that's the system you used when you enrolled in school. So that's where we put your first name, last name, mother's name, father's name, birth date, address, phone numbers, emails. That's a really important place. Good data in helps us make sure that we can reach you, contact you, and we have correct information. We're moving to a very online use of that so that we get correct information into our system immediately when your child starts. No more waiting for a clerk or a secretary to put data into the system. It will happen the minute you enroll. All of that information talks to our ARIES parent portal, where you'll get your report card and be able to see grades. And it also informs our application called Parent Square. And Parent Square is how we send you emails, texts, voicemails, and there's even a social media feed in Parent Square for you to get information. On the other side of the house for the kids, we are a Google district and we have Google accounts for education. That means our teachers can use Google Classroom to make sure every child, whether they come to campus or they stay home, can see the assignments and the assessments that are needed for classwork. Google Classroom works very well for our older students. Some of our younger students on the iPads need to use Seesaw. It's a little bit user-friendly for an iPad. It really is a portfolio system where The children can put their student work into their iPad and the teacher can see it on the other side. The other important piece of delivering curriculum and content to the students is through Clever. Clever is a single sign-on. That's what SSO stands for. I learned that this year. That single sign-on makes it easier because with one password and one username, the students can get to all their contents. We use curriculum from lots of great publishers like National Geographic and Houghton Mifflin and McGraw-Hill and Discovery. They would all ask us to have different username and passwords, but that's too much for a student to remember. So Clever gives us the option to have a single sign-on. So next, you're going to see a list of all those adopted materials. Wonders is for our K-5 English Language Arts, and StudySync is for 6, 7, 8. California Math is for our 7, 8 math, and Go Math is for TK through 6th. Flex is for our special day classes, and Connecting Math Concepts is for our special day classes. Those are what we're using in the summer. In the fall, we will use our teacher-created material exploring social studies and our National Geographic for 6, 7, and 8. And our newest adoption is Discovery Textbook for Science for 7th and 8th grade. Elementary science books are coming. We're in a process to review those and scrutinize the very best publisher for our children. We do have supplemental materials that support good usage and engagement of these materials and the Common Core standards. So you may hear us talk about Nearpod, which delivers all kinds of lessons, iReady, which is an assessment program, ST Math, which is about Gigi the Penguin and lots of fun mathematical concepts, and Alex, which is also a supplement to the math program. Gizmos, we do have online science, virtual experiments, and experiments we can run hundreds of times to collect data for really understanding data in science. Many people are familiar with Accelerated Reader and getting their kids reading books on the shelf, but also with Myon, Renaissance delivers to us books on an electronic bookshelf. So children, even in distance learning, have books, digital books at their fingertips with comprehension tests to take at the end. And Destiny is our library system that lets you see our card catalog at home so you can request a book at school. Later on in the year, we will have all of our state testing, which is called the CAST program. We use that iReady. Dibbles is now called Acadience, and we will be able to do math and writing performance tasks. That's what the PT stands for. So lots of things all can happen in Google Classroom. So we will be doing everything, all the curriculum in the fall. But this summer, we're just doing the language arts and the math. Next, I want to share a little bit more about Aries and Parent Square and the Parent Portal. The Parent Portal, where you registered, also gives you the ability to check in with the teacher and see how your student is doing and progressing at school. Parent Square is a robust communication platform. It gives us the chance for two-way dialogue. It's really special because if you tell us your preferred language is Spanish, I could type you a message in English and the Parent Square software will change it to Spanish so that you can read it. Then when you want to communicate with me, you would type something in Spanish and then the Parent Square software would change it back to English so I can read and understand your feelings, your thoughts, your desires, your questions, everything that you want to know. So huge two-way communication, and it also has Hmong, Vietnamese, and many other languages to help us out. We also can use Parent Square for rapid communication to keep your kids safe. We can also let individual parents know about students and their progress. It lets you advocate for students and your child. We can set up volunteer lists in Parent Square. You can give us feedback in Parent Square. We can communicate to everyone in a social media style about current events and keep everyone involved with the culture in our schools so that you feel connected and you know what's going on in your children's lives. In the same deck, there's a written explanation of all of those things that I just said. in case I went too fast. And I'm going to go back to the very beginning to really emphasize that these big platforms are really our engines that drive everything. Aries is the center where we collect all the information. Parent Square is our communication area for you. And then Google Classroom and Seesaw with Clever helps us get curriculum, content, assessments, assignments out to the students and back in from the students so that we can grade them appropriately and see evidence of their learning. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. I'm actually going to go back to my MCSD at Home page where I found that little set of slides that you can look at again on your own time. I'd like to scroll down and show you a couple more things. We're passing out devices, and then sometimes you get home and say, now what? What do I do? Many of our TSAs and teacher librarians and IT staff have put together very short explanations of how you use an MCSD iPad and get that connected to your internet. So we have the iPads here, the Chromebooks, and logging in, and those are right now available in Spanish as well, and we will have more translations done. So you'll see this website grow and change as we add features for you. Then, of course, once we have you going, we want to be able to make sure your registration and your communication is clear. So here's Aries and Parent Square that I just talked about. Clever, the single sign-on, and here's multiple language supports from Clever. And just a little bit about Google Accounts for Education. Some parents are quite surprised that their child has an email address. They do, and it's only for internal use. So you can't email grandma on it or people outside of our system. They really can email their teacher. It allows them to join our Google Classroom and our Google Meets and all of the tools that come with Google Accounts for Education. So it's very safe and it's private within our domain. I've talked a lot about Google Classroom. This is a place where teachers can share their school rules, their announcements, their assignments, everything for class projects. They can put students in groups. It's quite great the way they can organize their content in Google Classroom. For our youngest children, we have found that Seesaw, this portfolio-based system, is somewhat like Google Classroom, but a little bit more friendly, especially when using an iPad. And right now we have our preferred way of having a live face-to-face meeting in Google Meet. And so here's some explanation in English and in Spanish about how to join a Google Meet. I mentioned Mayan before. That's that library of all kinds of virtual books. And here are our English language arts pieces and a couple of math pieces as well. Wonders is for K-5 English language arts. StudySync is 6, 7, 8 for English language arts. And here you have a short slide deck video of Go Math and getting onto Think Central, which sometimes can be a bit tricky. And then our ST Math with Gigi the Penguin that really helps children with problem solving. This little video here will show you there's no teacher's guide for ST Math. The best thing you can do when your children are solving how Gigi gets across the screen, that's the objective of every puzzle. You ask questions like, what can you click on? What needs to move? What are the obstacles for Gigi? Do you have some math? Is it about cutting things in half and learning about symmetry? Is it about putting groups together? Is it about breaking groups apart? So all the mathematical concepts, when you ask your student, what have you tried? What works? What moves? What did you learn from the last time you tried? And they actually use spatial temporal thinking, that's what the ST is for, to figure out the mathematics, which helps them learn it deeply. I also want to share with you that we do have some helpful tools. The norms is like the manners and etiquette of using technology and how you act online, but it's just how we should act all the time, being respectful, being patient, being prepared, being engaged. And we have it for different grade levels because the language changes a bit. And even at home, you can use these same norms for how we behave with each other. We also have a few more slides about some of our login information and how you might get your report cards back in the fall. And finally, at the end here, we have our acceptable use contract, which is from MCSD. Common Sense Media is a great place to learn more about the media and technology and how children are using it across the world and nation. And the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act is FERPA. That's how we will always keep your information safe, and we take your child's privacy very seriously. And I will be updating this last part with our own internal board policies about technology and where we're going. So now that you've seen the MCSD website and what's here, I'm just going to click across the ribbon at the top from my colleague, Sergio Mendez in Pupil Services. His team has put together a beautiful website of all of the social, emotional, and social services that might be necessary during this time. And then just at the end, just for fun, as a curriculum director, I got a lot of people reaching out to me, sharing things for parents during this time of COVID. So if you are looking for more to do with your children, whether it's the Khan Academy or National Geographic, or more about Discovery and Scholastic, our state parks, museums, Smithsonian, everybody wants to support your children. I am really excited. This piece right here is about how you become a Disney Imagineer, which is a wonderful job of arts and engineering. So a few career things are here as well. So that's just for fun, not required. Where you really want to head first might be the social emotional learning or the applications for getting your child online. So I'm going to go back home to my home page, and that's what it looks like, the stack of books with the logo. It shares what our goal is right here in the beginning, and also that helpline. We will be advertising some more meetings live and in person where you could put questions in a chat and we answer your personalized questions. So stay tuned. Seem to be getting lots of emails during this video. And we will hope to see you soon in a live chat about this information, or talk to you on the phone on the helpline, or you can always contact your teachers and principals, both in the summer distance learning or in next year's school year. Please do not be afraid to tell us and give us feedback about your experiences. That's how we learn, that's how we improve, and we are about continuous improvement. So thank you so much for listening today, and I hope to see you either virtually or in person soon. Again, my name is Dr. Elaine Keeley, the Director of Curriculum Instruction and Staff Development. I work at the Professional Development Center that is directly behind Chenoweth School. And my partner here that also may serve you is Matt Johnson, who is the Coordinator of Educational Technology and Innovation. Thanks so much for listening. Hope to meet you soon.